I don't have to explain myself, hide myself, justify myself. I'm, like the Billy Joel song says, they like me just the way I am. We love you just the way you are. That's a great gift, and we want to keep that gift. And yet it comes with an inadvertent cost. Our comfort becomes part of the status quo we like to keep. Remember what I was telling you about Jesus and the young man, and about how riches and possessions can hold us back from change? Well, being comfortable, being safe and secure, those feelings are so powerful that they're really hard to put at risk when it comes to changing. For example, I bought shoes I thought were waterproof. They are only up to the top. When we deal with diversity, we are going to get deep inside of some of the discomforting issues, not only in society, but in our own worlds. And this discomfort is what keeps us from going into the pasture in the first place, or gets us to turn around and come right back after we get wet for the first time. And I'm speaking from my own personal experience. I'm not lecturing anyone here. Back in high school, I was pals with a fellow named Mallory Thompson. Mallory was an African-American boy, just a year older than me. And we were on the track team together. He was a runner, and I put shot. Neither of us were good. So we were rarely racing or putting, as the case may be. So we talked a lot, and we talked, it being 1968, about race. And we tried, organizing young people to do something about it, and it was an abject failure. And yet, over the years, I have never been able to let go of this enduring, constant, and relentless challenge of racial justice in my society, not because it was an abstract thing I hated, but because it ate me up. Because it was spiritually vexing to me, because there was something wrong, because I could not overcome it myself, because that's the point. The moment we start talking about race and class and sexuality and politics, all of those things, we will find things inside us that are discomfited, uncomfortable, unhappy, resentful, and angry, because like it or not, we all have a stake in the status quo. All of us do. And that means if we change it, we run the risk of losing something. And of course, church, isn't that the place where we can always come and be comfortable and at home and accepted? So for a minister to say, I want you to get out of your comfort zone, is to take away your sense of church. It is not easy. To approach the questions of diversity will be a question of, are we willing to be uneasy for a while? Are we willing to have our feet wet for a long time? Are we willing to get dirt on our shoes, to get rain in our hair, to get lost from time to time? And I understand if you don't want to do it. I understand the feeling very, very much. If we engage in the messy work of diversity, we will find it scary, dirty, confusing. And yet, I want you to go back to the 4 people going down the yellow brick road. Do you remember that at some point it rained? And what happened to the Tin Man? He rusted. So Dorothy and the Scarecrow notably had to oil him. The Tin Man was unable to save himself from the rain. He couldn't deal with it. Then there was another time when the Wicked Witch made poppies grow, and who fell asleep? The Lion and Dorothy, and Toto too. And it took the Tin Man and the Scarecrow, the non-animals, to rouse them. My point here is that L. Frank Baum is telling us, in diversity are the strengths we lack individually to go through life. We are none of us omnicompetent with the world. We always need help, and sometimes the help you need comes from the person you least expect will give it. It could come from the darker person, from the gayer person, the poorer person, the more believing person, the more conservative person. It could come from someone who doesn't, quote, belong here at all, and yet they have a gift and a strength that some of us will need to get through the day. I am here to tell you that the work of diversity is hard, messy, frustrating, and angering, and yet it is the most strengthening work you can do for your own soul. It is soul work par excellence. If we engage in this, we will discover unexpected joys as well. I was on the roof of a black man's shack in Austin, Texas in 1993 when I literally fell through the roof because it was so badly shingled. But he pushed me back up through, and then afterward he fed everyone in that crew more barbecue than I will ever see in one spot again. He spent more money on that barbecue than he would have on the shingles. But we got much more. But I had to go to the shack. I had to stand on a roof. And you know how much I like standing on roofs? Not a bit. I got out of my comfort zone and found my welcome zone. Because your comfort is not about welcoming. Welcoming is, do you belong where you are? And I think the vision of Fountain Street Church truly is the house of prayer for all people, where everyone belongs, where anyone can walk in and say, I belong here. And if someone doesn't, we have work to do. It's good work, it's powerful work, it's hard work, it's dangerous, and it's messy, and you will get dirty, but we will get there. I think we know this truth intellectually, that we have no choice but to become a place where everyone has a place, everyone. But we need to learn this truth not just here. If your brain has room for everyone, we need to find ways for our heart to make room for everyone. And that means we live it, not just talk about it. It means we go and work with, get connected to, spend time with black folk, Hispanic folk, on their terms, not ours. With gay folk and poor folk and homeless folk, on their turf, not ours. But I truly believe this is what the liberal vision is about, what our hearts really want. St. Augustine, in his famous Confessions, ended his prologue by saying, our hearts are restless until they rest in thee. Whether you believe in God or not, I think we all yearn for something further away than today. We all want something that's harder to get to than just showing up and rolling out of bed. We all want our lives and our world to be better in a moral, spiritual, personal way. And you won't get there by standing still. It must be sought on foot, through the pasture, in the mud, with the manure, in the rain, with the wet socks. And you keep on doing it because, well, my heart cannot rest in a world so divided. My heart is divided, and it needs to be united. This world is divided, and it needs to be united. So I will walk through the moral muck, through the spiritual wane, through the personal doubt, through the political anger, through the winds of sorrow. And I will keep walking, because even if I don't get there, I'm going to get closer. Question is, do you want to come with me? Amen and amen.